Good day viewers, welcome to another edition of the Daily Strange Stories. I'm John Brown. I hope your week is progressing smoothly and you're tackling your goals head-on. Our lead story for today. The shocking chaos in SAPS over Matlala and Katiso Molefe's Big Five cartel and AKA's murder. Every single day, millions of ordinary South Africans place their trust, and indeed their very lives, in the hands of the police, relying on them to uphold the law and keep their communities safe from harm. But what happens when that fundamental trust is shattered, when the very individuals sworn to protect you are themselves entangled with figures like Vusimuzi, Matlala and Katiso Molefe, alleged to be at the heart of a criminal empire known as the Big Five Cartel? A rapidly escalating scandal within the SAPS is now raising profoundly alarming questions about the pervasiveness of corruption, the insidious influence of political interference in police operations, and the overall ability of law enforcement to effectively carry out its core mission. The tragic and still unsolved murder of Kiernan Forbes, who was popularly known as AKA, has become a powerful and deeply emotional rallying cry for justice, exposing a system that appears to be deliberately designed to protect powerful criminals, silence courageous whistleblowers who dare to speak out, and allow corruption to flourish unchecked. This isn't merely a detached story about faceless politicians and anonymous police chiefs engaged in a power struggle, it's a deeply personal story about the safety and well-being of every single citizen of South Africa, a story that directly impacts your life and the lives of your loved ones. Are you truly safe in a society where the lines between law and lawlessness have become so dangerously blurred, where alleged criminals like Matlala and Molefe seem to operate with impunity? The answer, as we will demonstrate with irrefutable evidence, may very well terrify you and compel you to demand immediate action. The Big Five cartel, as described in various testimonies, operates as a criminal network deeply involved in drug trafficking, tender fraud, contract killings, and cross-border vehicle hijackings. This group has reportedly spread its influence into political circles, working with high-profile figures for mutual gain. Katiso Molefe and Matlala stand out as central players in this setup, with connections that reach into the police and beyond. Molefe's name has surfaced in discussions about organized crime, while Matlala, a businessman with a history of controversial deals, has been accused of using his ties to manipulate outcomes in his favor. Their alleged cartel has penetrated areas where decisions about money and power are made, creating a system where illegal activities blend with legitimate business and politics. Adding to the disorder is the murder of AKA, which happened in Durban and led to arrests that sparked major conflicts within SAPS. The case highlighted tensions between key leaders, particularly suspended Deputy National Commissioner Shadrack Sibiya and KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi.
A well-known musician, 35-year-old, and his bodyguard, who was said to be 84 years old, was shot and killed in Molefe on Florida Road on Friday night. What we have for now is that the musician and his security detail were having supper in a restaurant. So as they were leaving to their vehicle, two unknown gunmen came across the street on foot and opened fire on them, killing them instantly. It is early stage, but we will be investigating 2 counts of murder, and with the hope of finding the culprits.
Thanks so much, Minister, and greeting once more to all of you. I'm going to be very brief with regard to the presentation that we're making this evening. As the Minister said, there's a total of 6 suspects that have been arrested and detained in connection with the murder of the 2 individuals, Mr. Kiernan Forbes, also known as AKA, as well as Mr. Tabelo Motswane, who is also known as TIPS. The incident that happened on the 10th of February in Florida, here in Durban. These 6, they played different roles during the operation. We have a coordinator, who's basically the master of everything, is in custody. We have 2 shooters that you also on social media. We have 2 spotters that were part. One of the spotters was inside the restaurant observing and watching Mr. Forbes and his friends, as well as the organizer of firearms and vehicles, because the vehicle used as a getaway, firearms that were used to shoot, they all hired. As I said, the 6 of them, the spotter initially followed Mr. Forbes from the airport on arrival, all the way to the hotel, as well as to the restaurant where the incident happened. And this person was also responsible for gathering resources together, the whole team together, as well as the rewards that came thereafter when the people have done their job, the payments that was done. And the second suspect that we have is a person who supplied firearms and vehicles, and that person was also linked to other 2 murder cases, not these ones that that we're talking about. And the third one, it's a shooter who is linked to another murder case, another parallel murder case. We have another spotter that was just outside the restaurant, who's also linked to another case. And we have another spotter who was outside Wish, who's linked to other 2 murder cases. And we have a shooter also as a 6th person who's linked with another murder case. In total of the exhibits that we've recovered thus far, it's a total of 4 vehicles, as well as a firearm that was used in a commission of crime, as well as cartridges that were picked up from that crime scene that were linked with another crime scene where another shooting happened. The first vehicle, which is a Mercedes-Benz, was recovered on the 6th of March last year. And the second recovery was on the 22nd of April, and that was a firearm that was used to shoot and kill Mr. Forbes, specific. On the 23rd of June, the team identified, after recovering these cartridges, they linked them together and were able to link that and confirm that they're all involved. That firearm that was used in both murder scenes. A BMW was recovered on the 2nd of August. That's a vehicle that was trailing Mr. Forbes when he landed in KZN from the airport all the way to the hotel, all the way to the restaurant. A grey I-10 vehicle was recovered on the 20th of October last year. And on the 23rd, the last vehicle, which is a Polo, was recovered as well. So all these recoveries were kept in police premises, and we processed them. The last 2 vehicles were hired from the owner who rented these vehicles. So we took the statement from the owner, we've done all the necessary things, touched DNA and everything that we needed on those cars, and we since released them to the owner, because the owner just rented this vehicle out. So we've got all the evidence. As the person who rented the cars, we have all the evidence, and we're comfortable with that case.
Yeah, General, he sounds like a very aggrieved man. Before I let you go, are you a criminal? He's referred to you. He said in that meeting that the police minister had organized at his premises. You didn't say anything in that meeting, and he basically said there can basically be no peace between a police officer and a criminal. That seems to have been suggested at you. Are you a criminal?
No, Cressida, I'm 37 years in this field. I've been doing this job, and many people, all the provinces know me. I've done my job throughout the country. I've served the people of South Africa, and there are big cases that I can point you out, including the AKA that he's talking about. I'm the one who was pushing it. He's talking about the AKA. I'm the one. In fact, he didn't want to arrest. I'm the one who arrested, who pushed for the arrest of AKA. So. And I can show you and I can prove to you about my involvement in the AKA matter. So I can tell you now, and I'm telling South Africa now, I am the one who was pushing for the arrest of AKA, not Mkhwanazi. That's what you must know.
You seem to be, the two of you seem to be going toe to toe. Yeah,
in this case,
the two of you seem to be going toe to toe. Do you have any bad blood with General Mkhwanazi? And I mean, how does all of this fare? Take a South African.
Only started as a result of the AKA matter because he didn't want to take this matter forward, and I had to force that these criminals be arrested.
Okay, you're saying that General Mkhwanazi did not want... What do you mean General Mkhwanazi did not want to take the AKA matter forward?
He was not doing anything up until I pushed for these people's arrest. I've met with the team more than 6 times. I've interacted with them. I've interacted with the team and the prosecutor and the National Commissioner in his absence. And we pushed for these people to be arrested, and they were arrested. So what is talking about we have arrest in KZ and there's no arrest in Joburg? I'm the one who pushed AKA.
You're basically accusing him of defeating the ends of justice.
Where?
No, when you're saying that he didn't want to do anything about the AKA matter, is that not defeating the ends of justice?
I don't say he didn't want to do anything, was not doing anything.
After suspects in the AKA killing were taken into custody during a covert operation in Cape Town, a briefing for the then Police Minister Begitele became a point of contention. Sibiya reached out to the Deputy Provincial Commissioner in KwaZulu-Natal instead of Mkhwanazi directly, citing previous difficulties in communication. This move angered Mkhwanazi, who saw it as a bypass of his authority. The disagreement escalated, leading Mkhwanazi to effectively bar Sibiya from operations in the province, despite Sibiya's national role. This ban has stalled important national efforts against crimes like cash-in-transit heists, drug trafficking, and truck burnings in KwaZulu-Natal, leaving the area vulnerable and projects from police headquarters in limbo. Sibiya, in his appearances before Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating corruption in SAPS, has strongly denied any connection to the Big Five cartel. He has pointed out that if such a group truly exists, no arrests have been made for their supposed activities in drugs or other areas. He insists he has no knowledge of or involvement with it, calling the accusations groundless.
An instruction, a lawful instruction comes from the minister to the National Commissioner, from the National Commissioner to me. And a Deputy National Commissioner must lose his job because of that. And then they bring other stories to muddy the whole thing and say, no, it's because of the cartels. We didn't know what we now know. They are not connected, this thing. Just tell me what was my role in those cartels that you're talking about. Where I'm sitting, I have a document that was produced by Crime Intelligence. When the minister said, I want to know who's supplying firearms. Where do these firearms coming from? Why are we not able to arrest these people that are supplying the firearms? And who's supplying drugs? Where do they manufacture drugs? Do we know who are the kingpins? Do we know where the clandestine laboratories are? Why are you not arresting them? The presentation was presented by Crime Intelligence. We have those presentations. The Big Five that is being spoken about is not there. And if it is indeed true, it is there, it exists, why are they not being arrested? For drugs or for whatever reasons it may be. But personally, I'm not involved in the Big Five. I don't know the Big Five. So I'm just saying, you ask a simple question, are there cartels or are there factionalism in the South African Police Service? I'm tempted to say yes, but I think it's better left to this committee to look at what is happening after our presentation and decide on that statement.
These denials come against a backdrop of claims from his superiors, including National Police Commissioner General Fanny Masemola and Mkhwanazi, who have accused him of corrupt practices. Masemola has described Sibiya's actions as attempts to seize control of units like the Cold Case Team and to replace leaders in the Political Killings Task Team, or PKTT, possibly to shield certain individuals from scrutiny. The PKTT itself has become a major element in this saga. Formed in 2018 following an interministerial committee set up by President Cyril Ramaphosa to address political killings in KwaZulu-Natal, the team was meant to investigate targeted assassinations. However, Sibiya has described its structure as unusual, reporting not to the standard crime detection chain under his command but to others like Crime Intelligence head Dumisani Khumalo and Mkhwanazi. He has noted that the PKTT was not discussed in Board of Commissioners meetings, and he was excluded from its minutes and operations despite his high-level security clearance. Sibiya has argued that the team was deployed to unrelated matters and operated in secrecy, with only a few people understanding its true functions.
The message says, as we speak, the dockets are on their way to General Sibiya, and that was January.
Yeah.
The dockets were only brought to the office of the DIFCOM on the 28th. The handing over was done on the 28th of March. So which means what is contained in the SMS is not right.
Well, it may not be right, but it's not accurate, because it's not, they say the dockets are on the way to Sibiya as we speak, and that's on the 1st of January.
In my case, I wanted to systematically go with this thing because here is an instruction, a letter that is written, instruction received from the National Commissioner. General Rabi put a deactivation plan in paper that talks about how to do this deactivation, and finally writing out the closing report, all the exercises that must happen here. It explained everything leading to the Office of General Sebola bringing me the final document that I must now finally sign. And then and it's also still referred to my office by the Office of the National Commissioner. The same letter that was done by General Rabi, it was sent to the Office of the National Commissioner, not to me, from Rabi, as directed by the National Commissioner, to Sebola, who is the office manager in the Office of the National Commissioner. Then Sebola take it to my PA and say, print and give to the General to sign. So the National Commissioner says, I brought him a document that he did not like and he didn't sign. But that's a document that comes from the National Commissioner's office. I take it that if he didn't like it, should have called Rabi again and say, hey, I don't like this document. Why did you write 1, 2, 3, 4? Because it's not how I want it. Not to let it go further.
He has called for an audit of its overtime claims since its start, pointing out its massive 500 million rand budget, while other areas, like murder and robbery units in places such as Westbury, Eldorado Park, and Hanover Park, struggle with limited resources. In his view, the PKTT has not effectively helped the country and should have been under detectives, which falls in his department. The disbandment of the PKTT at the end of last year, directed by suspended Police Minister Senzo Mchunu, has fueled more controversy. Mkhwanazi has alleged that this move, along with Sibiya's order to centralize 121 dockets from the unit to police headquarters in Pretoria, was part of an effort to capture and protect criminal elements. Sibiya counters that the disbandment was an administrative decision, not a plot, and that the team no longer added value. He has dismissed claims that dockets were left unattended in his office as false information. This conflict has created two opposing stories that the ad hoc committee must sort through, raising concerns about irregularities in SAPS command structures and the involvement of ministers in operational decisions outside normal channels. Complicating matters further are Sibiya's interactions with businessmen Brown Mkhwanazi and Kat Matlala. Mkhwanazi, described as an ANC activist and Ramaphosa spy from the northwest, first contacted Sibiya around December 2024 to warn him about tender corruption and efforts by intelligence personnel to undermine him. Sibiya has admitted to meeting Mkhwanazi twice, once in Cape Town during the ANC's January 8, 2025, celebrations, where they greeted each other at a hotel, and briefly in Gauteng about a month ago. During the Cape Town meeting, Mkhwanazi forgot to pay a restaurant bill and asked Sibiya to cover it, but Sibiya refused. Sibiya maintains that their communications were about gathering potentially useful information, not friendship or improper dealings. He has emphasized that he works with information and would not block someone who might provide valuable insights, though he insists he never attended meetings organized by Mkhwanazi involving Mkhunu or others. As for Kat Matlala, Sibiya knew him as a service provider for SAPS, specifically for running a hospital at a police college through a healthcare contract. In February 2024, while Sibiya was acting National Commissioner, Matlala visited his office with an attorney to complain about being denied access to a facility for a tender he had won. Matlala provided letters from his lawyers and the Department of Public Works confirming a lease agreement. Sibiya consulted National Commissioner Molefe, who decided that Public Works could not dictate SAPS facility use and barred Matlala from the building. Despite this, the tender continued, and Sibiya's role was limited to relaying the feedback. He has stated that this was their only in-person meeting and that he did not know Matlala before, describing their interactions as very limited. These connections have been highlighted in affidavits and WhatsApp messages presented in hearings. For instance, messages allegedly between Mkhwanazi and Matlala from January 1, 2025, mention arranging a meeting for Sibiya and a minister to find a solution, and note that a task team harassing Matlala had been dissolved with dockets going to Sibiya. Sibiya has doubted the authenticity of these messages, suggesting that Matlala's phones might have been tampered with during a bail application process. He has called for the person who recovered the texts to testify. Additionally, allegations claim Matlala financially supported Mkhwanazi's political campaigns, though these remain unproven and are part of ongoing investigations. The scandal has extended to raids and broader inquiries. Last week, heavily armed police, including the National Intervention Unit, searched Sibiya's home in Centurion, believed to be linked to Mkhwanazi's public allegations from a July media briefing. Mkhwanazi has called Sibiya an enabler of wrongdoing within the police, though he has not yet presented direct evidence of corruption. This raid came amid testimony about criminal infiltration, underscoring the pressure on SAPS leadership. Parallel to this, the Nhlanhla Commission, chaired by retired Judge Vusimuzi Nhlanhla, is probing these issues, summoning figures like Mkhwanazi to address claims of improper involvement in police matters as a civilian. The Commission has faced debates over closed hearings to protect witnesses, with media outlets arguing for openness to maintain public trust. Evidence leaders have sought in-camera sessions from October 13 to 17, 2025, citing risks to whistleblowers, ongoing investigations, policing methods, and informant safety. However, journalists have pushed for case-by-case decisions and redacted transcripts to uphold the principle of open justice. The presidency has also been drawn in, with spokesperson Vincent Magwenya stating that submissions will be made to both the Commission and the ad hoc committee, asserting no interference by President Ramaphosa in SAPS operations. References to the presidency in testimonies, such as a complaint about withdrawing detectives from Richards Bay murder cases, have prompted calls for Ramaphosa to appear, though no direct accusations against him have surfaced. Tying into the wider corruption narrative is the case of Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, linked to looting over 2 billion rand from Tembisa Hospital through fraudulent tenders. The Special Investigating Unit raided his Sandton home, seizing assets like 3 Lamborghinis, designer furniture, and artwork worth 133.5 million rand, part of a larger 900 million rand target. Mkhwanazi's mansion, bought via a family trust for 86 million rand by combining 2 plots, features infinity pools, manicured gardens, a car wash, and a hair salon, secured by walls, CCTV, and lights. A video showing Ramaphosa outside Mkhwanazi's house was explained as a coincidental walk with staff, with no personal relationship claimed beyond a distant family tie through a past marriage. Ramaphosa reportedly instructed family to avoid government business deals before his deputy presidency in 2014.
I need to come to the president. You don't need to come to me.
You come to me. You come to me. How are you, my brother?
Yeah.
I'll give you some love. I love you. I'll give you some love.
I love you.
How are you? No better cameraman in the world. Let me tell you. Yes. So, I mean, if you say it's beautiful, this is the best.
Colleagues will have seen a video that's been doing the rounds on social media, purporting to place the president at Mr. Morgan Mkhwanazi's home. We would like to therefore address the falsehoods that have been spread through this video showing the president with a well-known radio DJ, commonly known as Tibo Touch, outside Morgan Mkhwanazi's home. The video shows 4 gentlemen, namely Deputy Minister Nhlanhla Sibiya, who at the time was a special advisor to the president. And this video was taken or recorded on the 29th of September 2023. You also see the president in the middle with the DJ, Thibaut Touch, as I've mentioned, as well as with Bishop Noel Jones. Now, colleagues will also recall, and it is well known, that the president loves to walk whenever he finds time, and that is how he keeps himself fit. On this day, he had invited Mr. Sibiya on a walk, which is something he does regularly, to invite his staff, including ministers, for walks, as well as his friends. It's usually a very constructive time and easy time to engage the president on a number of issues during the walk. So during this particular walk, they passed a house which we now all know to be Maumela's house. As they were passing this house, they were stopped by Thibaut Touch, who got out of the car. As I've mentioned, he was in the company of his mentor and friend, Bishop Noel Jones. They took pictures and they recorded a video. During the same walk, the president had stopped and spoke to several people along the way, including taking pictures with some of those people. Mr. Jomo Sibiya's Facebook post during that time do show all of this. And so, indeed, you see the president in front of Maumela's house, but they were not visiting the house or coming out of that house. It just so happened that Thibaut Touch stopped his car to greet the president as he was walking past what we now know as Maumela's house. The president did not even know whose house it was at the time.
The SIU's work in tracing funds through 41 companies tied to Maumela shows capability, yet the real test is turning evidence into courtroom results, asset recovery, and reforms. Whistleblowers need protection, and parliamentary oversight should set deadlines for updates on prosecutions and recovered funds. Katiso Molefe's role in the Big Five adds another layer, with documented cases linking the cartel to politicians. Khumalo has testified that the group has infiltrated political arenas, collaborating for financial benefits. This penetration allows the cartel to influence tenders and evade scrutiny, as seen in Matlala's hospital contract disputes. Sibiya's testimony has included defenses of his professional relationship with Mthunu, noting they met only after Mthunu's appointment and that ministerial requests are hard to refuse. He has recounted efforts to mend ties with Mkhwanazi, including a handshake after Mthunu's intervention post-AKA fallout, though versions differ. Sibiya invited Mkhwanazi to awards events, which went unattended. The ad hoc committee faced delays when Sibiya protested over MPs who filed complaints against him and Mthunu, leading to a referral to the Speaker for advice. Evidence leader Norman Arendse chose to question Sibiya directly on adverse comments rather than having him read a statement. The chaos exposes how personal rivalries and alleged criminal ties can paralyze policing. From the AKA murder arrests to cartel allegations, the story demands scrutiny of SAPS structures, budgets, and leadership. Audits of task teams, transparent investigations, and protections for informants could rebuild integrity. What do you think should happen next to clean up the mess in SAPS and ensure justice for cases like AKA's murder? Should top officials like Sibiya face immediate removal, or do we need a full overhaul of the entire police system? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching this news bulletin. Please share your opinion in the comments section. We would be glad to read and respond to your comments. Let's meet again tomorrow in our next strange story. Wishing you a productive Wednesday.